These things are real. They're here. This is happening now.
With former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence, Christopher Mellon. Christopher, do you believe the UFOs exist?
We know that UFOs exist. This is not no longer an issue. The Navy itself has publicly acknowledged the fact that they exist, and Navy pilots, active duty pilots, have gone on the record in the New York Times acknowledging the fact that they exist. So the issue now is, why are they here? Where are they coming from? And what is the technology behind these devices that we're observing?
Are there indications that these unidentified flying objects are doing things that this world is not capable of?
There are indications, actually. The Nimitz incident, a famous example of this, which was well documented by multiple radars, multiple pilots in broad daylight. That vehicle demonstrated speeds in excess of 5,000 miles an hour. It was able to hover 50 feet above the ocean after descending from above 80,000 feet. So the pilots who are observing these craft are absolutely mystified, and that comes through clearly in their public statements.
They are frustrated. They feel as though something should be done.
They're deeply frustrated.
Joined now by Chris Mellon, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence under Presidents Bill Clinton and George W. Bush, now part of this new show, Unidentified. Chris, thanks for coming in this morning. Let's put up the video again of these sightings, and tell us, when you look at that, what are you seeing?
What I'm seeing, and what the experts that we've brought in to evaluate these tapes are seeing, is something that is frankly baffling. It's hard to understand, how do these vehicles maintain lift? How are they propelled? There are no wing surfaces, there's no exhaust. So there's nothing that we're familiar with that we've deployed in the air that has a power source other than chemical energy like fuel. These are so radically different than anything we're familiar with, and their performance is so advanced and so sophisticated. It's frankly just baffling.
So is it fair to boil it down to two possibilities? Either another country has leapfrogged the United States in technology, or extraterrestrial?
Those are the leading hypotheses, yes.
And what do you think?
I don't have a conclusion at this point. We're trying not to jump and leap to conclusions. We think that's actually an impediment to progress, because once you start talking about aliens, a lot of people just shut down. Right, so what we need is more information. What we need to do is find out who's overflying our military bases, overflying our nation in some cases, facilities where we're developing the next generation of weapons out west and so forth. There's a violation of our sovereignty occurring, and there's an air safety incident. There have been near mid-air collisions. So our pilots are encountering these things. The information in the past has been swept under the rug. We're helping to give them a voice and bring this to the American people.
And there's a lot of information the government collects that hasn't even been examined.
It's absolutely true. In fact, there's a vast amount of information, because of the sophistication of our technology, that is stored digitally, that is usually simply swept aside. So a radar operator, if something is going Mach 3, the radar will not even display that on his scope. Yet that information is there. So if we correlate some of these events with that data, we may gain deep insights into where these things are coming from.
I'm not sure you can answer this question, but how do you explain that there have been so many of these sightings and nothing has happened?
It is in part a social phenomenon. There's a stigma. It's been difficult to get people in the bureaucracy, in the military, and the intelligence community to understand they can deal with this without being penalized. Nobody's been assigned responsibility for collecting on this. So our different agencies and departments are not sharing information on this topic heretofore, not pulling it together. So the picture hasn't come into focus, and it's taken the pilots themselves speaking out publicly to really get this on everybody's agenda.
And they've continued to do it. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks.
In some of these cases, we had information from multiple radar systems, infrared systems, multiple naval personnel on the ground and in the air, and we're tracking these objects, performing maneuvers that clearly indicate they're under intelligent control. They're responding to our aircraft, they're out maneuvering them, and they're doing things that are far beyond any capability we possess. So that's certainly a hypothesis to consider. We have to keep an open mind going forward, but I don't think we're going to find at the end of the day that that kind of explanation can explain cases like that.